Coming to you from the Courier-Mail newsroom, and joining me is Des Houghton and Bob MacDonald to discuss the possible public servant strike. Now, let's look at the figures. 60,000 public servants offered a 2.2% pay rise. Queensland's debt, though, to hit $92 billion in 4 years. Bob, is the LNP's offer outrageous?
It might be pretty tough, but they have to do something very quickly, because what has happened over the last 10 years, we've had a boom here in Queensland in the resources sector, but we've also had a boom in public service numbers. It's grown like something at 3.5% a year for the last decade, which means we've got 60,000.
That's outrageous. That's outrageous.
60,000 more public servants today than we had a decade ago. Now, you can argue, and there's a good argument about how many of those do we actually need, but it's a huge number and it's a huge ongoing cost. If the government's serious about getting its budget in order, it has to do something.
Des, I have a feeling I know where you stand on this issue.
I think it's a very generous offer. CPI is running at about 1.6%, so anything above that is fair enough. Under the previous Labor government, we had far too many public servants, and Campbell Newman should start sacking them now.
But Des, where are you going to sack them from? Where are you going to sack them from?
Well, I just tell you the latest figures. Yeah. The latest head count is there are 206,881 public servants, and that's about the same as Victoria, that I think has 1 million more people than we do. The biggest numbers are in health, where there are nearly 70,000, and in education and training with 66,500, and police with 14,300. Now, we know very well that in the health sector there are about 3 clerks for every clinician, for every nurse and doctor, and it's greatly bureaucratised, and they should all go. They should start, by the way, with the 200 or so spin doctors, the journalists and communications people, who are really there only to tell lies and put a favourable spin on the dreadful mess that health is in.
Bob?
Well, those numbers are right, and it's true that almost half of the growth in the last 10 years has been in those social service, health areas, all those areas that everyone complained about a decade ago, saying, you know, we don't trust our hospitals, we don't trust our doctors, we need more frontline people. And for every frontline person, well, you need someone in the back office to help them out. I think where the real problem has been is that I don't know how much science has gone into this. So you hire a doctor and then someone says we need someone to do the administration, and then a bit more of that, and it grows like topsy. And I think that's the real challenge, that if you had the time, you pull it apart and put it back together. But that probably takes 2 years or 3 years, and Campbell hasn't got that amount of time, so he has to move quickly.